The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene here. Hope you enjoyed the first episode of the 2022 Flostradamus NFL mock draft. Now we are live for round two of the draft. Well, it's not round two of the draft. It's the second half of the first round of the... You get where we're going with this. Anyway, welcome into the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can join us every time that we are live or when we have instant premieres like we had earlier this morning. Subscribe also to jump into the chat box.
So here's what happened. We ran out of time. We were going to record this all in one contiguous episode. There are two pieces of thought here. One, you're trying to get as many views as humanly possible. So we made an aggressive strategy on the fly of, okay, well, we're going to run out of time. We want to put out the whole first round, so we split it in two.
Right.
Chuck G said in the comments, this is confusing. I know we didn't really give you any heads up because we didn't know it was coming. So, sorry.
Right. See, now you all know how I feel when Jeremy goes, hey, I got this idea. Let's do this.
Well, this wasn't an idea. This was we have a big old fuck problem. And what are we going to do about that? Screw it. We'll do it live.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Here on a Friday morning. It is a football Friday, and what a way to kick it off than with the second half of the first round of the 2022 Flostradamus mock draft.
And we had some stuff happen last night that we have to cover. First of all, my Jets, SUCK suck.
Yep.
Our offense is good though, and by God, we tried to cover. We tried our damnedest to cover in what would have been one of the immortal, unbelievable, unquestioned bad beats of all time. But Josh Johnson threw he threw an interception on the 8-yard line.
What'd I tell you?
Because who's shocked?
What'd I tell you? No shot.
No shot. They're sitting on the 8. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure they wouldn't have got the fucking ball back. Because Frank Reich does not understand. Hey, when you have a lead, run! Yeah, I did that on purpose. Run the damn ball!
No. We ran to get the lead. We don't need to keep running.
God.
That's when you go passing, right?
I couldn't for the life of me understand. Why in the hell are you throwing the damn ball? I mean, I'm a Jets fan going, yeah, keep doing that. It's working out swimmingly.
Because he hates Marlon Mack that much.
I don't know what
he hates Marlon Mack so much he doesn't want to run him at all.
Frank Reich is a dum-dum. and that's all I could think last night was, did you not learn your lesson with the Baltimore Ravens? Have we not already seen this book?
Yep.
Well, we don't have a Lamar Jackson, so it didn't come back to bite you in the ass.
I was actually very, very surprised because I had called it quits for you and turned it off.
I didn't. I did not. Mike White will be the starter next week. That's already been announced.
You think so?
No, it's already been announced. They
Okay.
already said he'll be ready for next week.
Interesting.
Yeah, Mike White will be the starter, and I'll be honest with you, I think he's the starter moving forward.
They won't go back to Zach Wilson?
Because I don't think he can. The offense has moved way, way, way better with the veterans. Elijah Moore. You remember that time I told you should pick up Elijah Moore? If you held out through last night, you're welcome.
I had every intention of playing Elijah Moore this week. I also went out and picked up Tyler Kroft. And guess what dumbass forgot to set his fucking lineup?
That one.
Wait.
Dude,
yeah.
That one.
So then I had to drop Tyler Kroft to stream somebody else, and Kroft got hurt anyway, so it didn't. It made me immediately go, oh no, I should have played it. Oh no, I'm glad I didn't play him.
Oh wait.
Wait. All right, let's get into it here.
Another thing that we have to cover.
Yeah.
It's something I said in the video, the earlier video. Adam Anderson is completely off the board.
Yeah,
he's completely off the board. You can't know. You can't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
So if you don't know the story, Adam Anderson from Georgia, the edge rusher, is under investigation for rape. Apparently, it happened last week,
Friday.
Yeah, and they're looking into it, and yes, he's untouchable.
So
now.
there is going to be an audible in this draft. We didn't have time to fix the graphics, so we had to cover that coming out. of Adam Anderson is now completely off the board.
Right.
He has been suspended by Georgia pending resolution.
Yeah, he won't. He will not be back. Yeah.
No, he won't be back at Georgia. Now it's a question of, can this be settled? You know, and as we say often, we're not lawyers, so we don't get into that. We also weren't there, so we don't know.
That's right.
But we're to pick number 17.
17.
This is one of those that I can't get away from it no matter how hard I try.
Just keep him in the state.
Stop putting Chris Olave with the Cleveland Browns.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, I could see him very well. You know, he's going to be the next generation of receiver there, and he will be the usurper. We talked about that.
The usurper.
The usurper of Jarvis Landry. This could be Chris Olave's franchise.
I like Chris Olave. I listening back to what I said about Garrett Wilson, I feel like it sounded like I was taking shots at Chris Olave, and that was not in any way my intention. It's just we thought coming into this year that he was going to be – we thought he was going to be the no doubt unquestioned one, and he hasn't been that. Here's the thing about Olave. He's just very average at a lot of things. He's fast, but he's not super fast. He's physical, but he's not super physical.
Overly physical, yeah.
He's tall, but he's not real thick. And so you just look at all of these things. I do think he can play on the outside. There are a lot of people that do what I do that don't. They think he is a slot receiver. He's one of the best route runners you'll ever see. He's not Jerry Jeudy good, but he's let me think of somebody I've graded over the last few years that was about like this. Amari Cooper. He's Amari Cooper level route runner. Not the highest of the high, but he's very, very good. And he's going to get, and with how athletic he is, he's going to be a good player in the NFL.
No doubt.
I just think Garrett Wilson's more of a game breaker. He fits the NFL more right now. Look at Jerry Jeudy. All right, now I understand Jerry Jeudy has had quarterback issues. I could see a lot of that with Olave, where, yeah, you can get open, but you get open with how you're a tactician with your feet. And that leads to you being a lot of check down. Now, can you break those? Sure. And Olave, to me, I think is faster than Jerry Jeudy. But I could see him having some of the same problems where you have games where you're 4 for 45, 40% of the time.
Right.
Then you have those huge chunk big games. That's why I would take Garrett Wilson ahead of Chris Olave. I just think Garrett Wilson's more of a modern-day receiver than Olave is.
Gotcha. All right.
Because he does terrorize you deep. He's one of the best deep ball threats I've seen in several years.
Yeah. Chris Olave strikes me as a guy, he's going to be a very, I'm going to say, he could be a mid-tier one in this league.
I think he'd be a back-end one. I think he's a really, really good two. And now that there's no Odell Beckham in Cleveland, everybody's losing their shit about that. We told you that shit 2 days ago. That's why you come here for your news.
Exactly.
Because I told you this shit 2 days ago.
Right. At number 18, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. Charles Cross, the tackle out of Mississippi State.
This is correcting an error. Orlando Brown as a left tackle was an error. Now, can he play on the right side? I think he can be a high-level right tackle. Charles Cross should not be here at 18. He is because there's a slew of teams that do not need tackles. The Cleveland Browns don't need a tackle. Denver Broncos don't need a tackle.
Right.
Go back to the backside. You'll just see there's a lot of teams that don't need this guy.
Right.
Charles Cross is one of those weird players that he's either going to go in the top 10 or he's going to fall to the back end of the teens. At least the way the draft is currently constructed. He is tremendously talented. Probably not a player in this draft that has helped his stock more than Charles Cross. He was a guy that I'm trying to look and see where I had him coming into the end of the year. I think I had him as a day 3 guy. He is not a day 3 guy anymore. This is a guy that's not getting out of the first round. Good God, I had him low. I'm still scrolling, and I haven't gotten to Charles Cross yet. Oh, there he is.
Right.
Yeah, I had him as a 5th-round pick. He has shown to be markedly better than that. In this draft, I do not have him. I don't have a 1st-round grade on Charles Cross. I have a 2nd-round grade on him because there's still tape from that bothers me. There's still things about him that I don't love. And that's a gimmicky-ass offense. Well, so what's the perfect solution?
Put him in a gimmicky-ass offense. Yeah.
I think he could play on the left. Orlando Brown could play on the right, and that could fix some of the problems that you're seeing with Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Because Orlando Brown's just flat out not a left tackle. Now, is he going to get contentious about that? Sure.
You think he's better served in a passing offense?
Absolutely.
A pass-heavy offense like this?
Absolutely, I do.
Yeah.
And he's going to get pushed up just solely because there's not a lot of tackles in this draft. I mean, you get to Daniel Faalele real fast.
Right.
And that's a dude that might eat his way out of the league. God, he's big. He's not in my first round, just so you know.
All right, at number 19. It's the Carolina Panthers, and they're going with a tackle, too, and a hometown
you finally got a tackle!
I'm going to tell you what, I love this pick.
Hey, you should.
I absolutely love this pick. I've been watching a little bit of NC State football this year because, I put some wagers on NC State when I haven't normally.
Doubloons, if you will.
So, Ikem Ekwonu, I can't say his name. Ekwonu?
Ekwonu.
Ikem Ekwonu. This guy's a bull.
He is. This is a perfect blend for me of he can play on the left. There's no doubt in my mind he can play on the left in the NFL. But he's also got a very safe floor. That's what you're going to see with a lot of the linemen. Darion Canard, that's a kid from Kentucky. He's another one that falls into this. Do I necessarily think he has the highest high upside? No. But I definitely think he has the highest high floor.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, Ekwonu becomes one of the best guards in the NFL. I literally think that is the worst that could possibly happen.
I'm actually kind of surprised because, since we've been doing this together, when I watched his tape, I went, Jeremy's going to say he's a right tackle. He'll
start
physical masher.
He'll start as a right tackle. Likely. In Carolina, he wouldn't. But Carolina's also shown a proclivity to, I don't really care what everybody else thinks you are. We're just going to put you
But you think he can stand up against more like the finesse pass rushers of the NFL?
You're going to have to elaborate on what you're talking about.
So to me, he's always looking for the knockout blow.
He is.
And so the faster the edges are, I think the more he's going to get beat. Which makes me think that's more right tackle material than being a pass protector left tackle.
I could easily see this kid starting as a guard. There is a path to that because he is. I look at him and go, you're a fucking unbelievable guard. I think you can be a good to very good right tackle. I think you can be a good to average left tackle. It's just a question of what you need.
Yeah.
Carolina needs a left tackle. Yeah. They need linemen. Above all else.
Yeah, regardless, I think this guy is going to be amazing.
Oh, he's going to be a fantastic player in the league. He's going to be a fantastic player in the league.
Number 20. Los Angeles Chargers going with Jaquan Brisker.
I like this kid. I really do.
He's got a lot of speed.
He does, and he's so multiple. And I'm looking at the Chargers. The Chargers are one of the hardest teams to figure out what exactly are you going to do. And where I run into a problem with him is you don't really have a lot of holes. Like you spent mad money on the offensive line. You're not going there. It's too early for a tight end, which is, to me, one of their bigger needs. You're not taking a running back here because they believe ideologically the same way I do.
Right.
This is a kid that can be a missile, and he allows Derwin James to do all the things you've ever wanted him to do.
I was going to say, he's also an insurance policy.
That's the other part.
Right.
That's the other part. We saw how much this defense deteriorates without Derwin James. This is another piece that if something happened to Derwin James, they can play together because he allows Derwin James to play in the box and be that Jamal Adams. Just you never know where he's coming from. I'll knock your brains out, but I can also pick you off safety. If something happened to Derwin James, then he fell absolutely.
Is that the one? Is that the one where the ball carrier got away and he beat everybody 25 yards down the field and He just came out of nowhere, just onto your television screen, and I mean, it was literally a DK Metcalf-esque type chase down.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of it. I love watching this kid play. I think he can be a high-level elite safety in the NFL, and there are a few of those in this draft. You know, Kyle Hamilton's obviously a guy that I waxed poetic about, but there are several safeties in this draft that I think can be impact guys.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have the number 21 pick, and they've got a big decision to make.
This is just, you ever see something and you just go, this makes entirely too much fucking sense.
After missing on Dan Marino all those years ago,
they ain't gonna do it twice.
They will not let the Pitt guy get away, and they'll take Kenny Pickett.
I'll be really honest with you. When I was going through doing this, I didn't even think about the fact he plays at Pitt.
Yeah.
That didn't even cross my mind. I saw him sitting on the board and I went, that makes entirely too much sense. Because he's NFL ready. Mm-hmm. Kenny Pickett is the most ready to play in the NFL quarterback in this draft, and it's not even vaguely close. He's also 2 years older than all of them. What does that lend to? A team that's ready to win right now. Mm-hmm. The Pittsburgh Steelers window is getting smaller, not bigger.
Right.
So if you're going to bring in a quarterback, it damn well better be somebody that has 5 years of experience. Mm-hmm. Hey, there's only one of those in this draft, and it's Kenny Pickett.
And a guy that can do all of the things that your current, aged, decrepit quarterback could do once upon a time.
Yep. I like Kenny Pickett. The thing about Pickett is that you're going to have to surround him with weapons. Mm-hmm. He's never going to be a high-level NFL quarterback. What can Kenny Pickett be? There's a comparison I want to make, but it's lazy. So I don't want to do that.
Okay.
He can beat Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The thing you have to remember about Kenny Pickett is right now he's playing against kids that are markedly younger than him. Mm-hmm. You cannot fall for this shit. There are only certain teams that are going to have Kenny Pickett evaluated in the top 5 of quarterbacks. I can tell you one team doesn't have him in the top 10 right now.
Yeah.
Because of that. It keeps getting enforced to me. He never looked like this kid until he was markedly older.
Yeah.
And there have been a few of those. Brandon Weeden, Chris Winkie. Been a lot of guys that you're just older. Now, they're drastically older. Brandon Weeden was 27 years old. Chris Winkie was 30.
Right.
So there is a drastic difference there. There's just not a lot of room to grow. Kenny Pickett is what he is. Mm-hmm. The good thing is that he can come in immediately and be, I think, what Ben is right now and better than Mason Rudolph could ever plan on being.
I agree with everything you just said, except for I think maybe he's the best Jimmy Garoppolo there's ever been.
Well, the best Jimmy Garoppolo got to a Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying.
That was not a slight.
Right.
That's what I meant.
When you said it, I was like, oh. But no, he's the Jimmy Garoppolo that got the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl.
Well, here's the thing. Has Jimmy Garoppolo ever had Juju Smith-Schuster, Chase Claypool, James Washington, Deontay Johnson?
No. And Najee Harris.
And Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Just remember, the ancillary pieces here are set.
Mm-hmm. All you got to do is insert the quarterback.
And I'm not going to lie. When I put Kenny Pickett on the screen and I saw Pittsburgh pop up and I went, oh, wait. That makes way more.
Way too much sense.
It makes too much sense that it won't happen because anything that makes that much sense invariably doesn't happen.
Right.
But that would be, if this draft, if you told me the NFL draft, I went 32 for 32, that'd be my favorite pick in the first round.
Okay. Number 22 belongs to the Cincinnati Bengals.
There has been a bit of a deficiency exposed with them. And that's that the linebacking core is, it's fine, but they don't have that guy. They don't have that one unbelievable linebacker. Devin Lloyd can be that guy. I'll tell you who he reminds me of, and this is a lazy comparison because they have the same first name. He reminds me of Devin Bush.
Okay.
Watching the film on him, that's what I see. This is just a kid that does everything well. Evan Doyle said offensive tackle in the first round or we riot. I'll be really honest with you. If the draft goes this way and you do take an offensive lineman, you did it wrong. Because there's only one more left in the first round, and it's a wee tickle of a reach.
Yeah.
Now, there are guys in the second and third round. Absolutely for sure, there are other linemen that you can come in, plug and play, and start. Mm-hmm. There's just not a guy that I feel like is deserving of the fifth-year option, of the investment that you got to understand. A first-round pick is a markedly bigger investment than a second-round pick. You get an extra year of team control. Mm-hmm. And I just don't see one of those. But now with Devin Lloyd, I see this is a kid that could 100%. Stephen Towle, gotta love you. He said pretty good offensive tackle was available last year. I love that narrative will never die.
No.
Devin Lloyd's one of those. He's just one of those kids that he's going to be a starter in this league for 10 years. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is.
Okay.
I don't say. You use that term that I refuse to fucking use.
What, the can't miss prospect?
Damn it! Stop doing that. I hate that term so freaking much. Because there's no such thing as a can't miss.
We all know that. But
you'd be shocked. There are people that do not know that.
But it's a classification that you put on a guy when you know. When you just look at him and you know this is gonna work. And that's okay.
The thing that would make me a little bit nervous, Devin Lloyd's best tape was this year in 2019. That 2020 tape, you need to set that on fire.
Okay.
You need to not look at that. Because he looked slow and out of shape. Mm-hmm. Now this is it, but this is a kid that's going to be.
He can just blame it on Rona. It'll be fine.
Yeah, everybody else does.
Yeah.
Joe Biden blames everything on Rona. Joe Biden shit his pants and blamed that on Rona.
Right.
Fuck. No politics. Shit.
So you're saying Devin Lloyd is Devin Bush-esque?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right.
And he's bigger. He's 6'3", about 230. This is a thick. This could be your Vontaze Burfict. And that's what I've been looking for from Cincinnati. They need that enforcer on the backside that just keeps teams from being the Michael Carter game. Mm-hmm. You need somebody that can stop shit like that from happening. Devin Lloyd is a kid that can stop shit like that from happening.
All right, at number 23, the New Orleans Saints. Drake London.
There were two possibles here, and I loved them both, and it took me forever to pick which one I was going to give them. There's Treylon Burks from Arkansas and Drake London.
Yep.
I could not for the life of me decide which one I wanted to do, and there was one great big tiebreaker.
Okay.
Drake London's just bigger. They need a big physical receiver. The Saints have had this mishmash of little itty-bitty, teeny-tiny receivers forever. And I'm not saying Treylon Burks is little by any stretch, because he's not.
No.
He ain't Drake London big. Drake London is Michael Pittman big.
Right.
He is big, physical. Hey, our quarterback's not that good. What would benefit him? Somebody in the red zone that can just go get a football. Mm-hmm. Drake London is so good. And this is another lazy comparison, but I can't stop doing it. Who am I about to say he reminds me of?
I don't know. I was racking my brain, but when you said Michael Pittman, now I can't get that out of my head. When you said Michael Pittman, I was like, yeah, he reminds me a lot of him. Now, is he as like fierce of a blocker? Because I'll be honest with you, I mean, I've seen highlights, but I haven't seen a whole lot of USC tape.
He can be.
Okay.
He can be. The tape
is he a willing blocker?
I hate that term too.
I know you do.
God, we should do a video on draft terms that I just really fucking hate.
Bingo
because
card.
That's one of them. Bingo
card.
We'll
draft bingo cards.
Oh, we'll do that for the draft. I just do a shot every time you say one of them, and I'm dead by pick 6. Drake, there's more raw here. Mm-hmm. Michael Pittman looked like more of a finished product to me. Drake London, there's just so much raw. He's gonna fall for one specific reason. He ain't gonna run fast. You know who else did the same thing?
Who's that?
Michael Pittman.
Oh.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of teams in the NFL that watched last night, have watched a slew of other games this year and gone, damn, that big fat bastard that looks like the brawny man on steroids. God, he tried to tell us about Michael Pittman.
Right.
I'm doing the same thing. You get a second shot here with Drake London. I think he's a year behind Michael Pittman, but it's the same guy. This is the same player.
All right. I wouldn't have hated Treylon Burks here.
I wouldn't either.
But like you said, he is that kind of, Sean Payton fast guy, just the 9 route guy.
The thing about Treylon Burks is Well, Treylon Burks he's going to have speed issues too. The thing about him is that I think he could struggle in the NFL to high point passes. I don't have Treylon Burks in the first round.
Really?
He's very early in the second round, but I like him. I do. I like him a lot. He's a fantastic player. I don't necessarily think there's that high side. I look at Treylon Burks and go, you're going to be a good 2 in this league for a long time. I look at Drake London and go, you could be a 1. You could be a 1, and you could be a mean 1.
Oh, yeah.
Again, USC players, I don't think they've been coached well under Clay Helton. So ties tend to get – I think Sam Pittman at Arkansas is a fucking awesome coach. I said that in the –
You did?
I got a little slip that has Arkansas at, what was it, 3.5 wins?
3.5 wins.
Yeah. Yay. Yes.
I do remember you saying that. Ooh, goody. Ooh, goody. Do this one, number 24.
Fire them cannons. By golly, multiple of those things.
I just did that to piss off Michael Whiteside because I haven't seen his name yet.
That's so great. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 24. We're getting a secondary guy. And he's a guy I like, Andrew Booth out of Clemson.
So what is the problem with your secondary right now? By the way, there's another player that this could be that I'm not as fond of, and I'll talk about him in a second.
That they suck and they can't cover anybody?
Now that's the broad strokes way of saying that.
Right.
Andrew Booth can be, if you watch the tape, you should take Trent McDuffie here, the kid from Washington. If you watch the tape, there are things that you wouldn't necessarily, from a physical limitation standpoint, that would bother me about Andrew Booth.
Okay.
Where I like him is where a lot of people are slighting him. I feel like he's being asked to do a lot right now in the Clemson defense. In the NFL, you're not going to be asked to do that. There are teams that are slamming him on his football intelligence. I think his football intelligence is otherworldly. I see him do high-level things on tape. They don't make SportsCenter. They're not interceptions. They're not pass breakups. They're not things like that. They're things that keep you from getting beat deep. They're just high-level things that I see Andrew Booth do.
The quick decision maker.
There you go. That's
Right.
what I've been hemming and hawing at.
Yeah. Because I mean, his best highlight tapes, to me, are not in coverage. They're actually in recognizing the play and making a break on the ball.
Well, this is from Walter Football, which is one of the resources that I use. Also, know them quite well.
Right.
But there are some teams that think that James Skalski and Brent Venables are the reason that these plays happen. I think he's doing it. And here's why I think he's doing it. Because nobody else is. Nobody else in that secondary is making these high-level, smart football plays. So either he's being coached a completely different way than everybody else in the secondary is, or he's doing it himself. And that's what I think it is. And in Todd Bowles' defense, which I also know quite well, football IQ is a big thing. And I think his is higher than some of the other guys that you would see put into these positions, the Trent McDuffies. I'm trying to think of another one off the top of my head that would fall into the same tier. Josh Jobe from Alabama. I like Andrew Booth better.
Okay.
And I think he fits Tampa Bay very, very, very nicely. Not a big corner, but I think he can be. I don't know that he'll ever be a no-doubt lockdown one.
Yeah.
But he'll be a piece in that Todd Bowles defense for a long time.
Well, I really hope he underwhelms the rest of the season so he can stick around when we pick at 32. Anyhow, the Buffalo Bills at number 25.
Oh shit! Now I gotta get back to the airport.
Yeah, see it now. Now the Buffalo Bills will go with. There's Treylon Burks.
I did have Treylon Burks. In
Yeah,
the first
I was
round.
going to say. I thought you just said he wasn't in the first round.
I thought he wasn't. I didn't have to audible much, but I had to audible a little bit.
Right. All right. So I mean, Treylon Burks. Ooh, put him on the other side of Stephon Diggs?
That's what I couldn't stop with, because he is enough of a threat down the field that he actually kind of reminds me of Stephon Diggs, if I was being really honest.
I could see that.
And having two of them, holy shit. The thing that Buffalo has struggled with the other receiver, what's made Emmanuel Sanders so prolific at times on the other side, is that he scares you deep. You're going to have somebody that scares you a little bit deep. But I even look at that and go, I don't necessarily want like a Garrett Wilson or one of these home run hitter. I don't need that. I have that. Stephon Diggs can be that. I need the guy that can dirty it up and get that Cole Beasley type yardage as an outside receiver. They've never had that complete receiver on the other side. There are things I like about Gabriel Davis. There are things I like about Emmanuel Sanders. There are things I don't like about either one of them. Well, the thing that one does, the other does, and Treylon Burks is that in one player.
He does it both. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
He's that in one player. He is a mishmash of Gabriel Davis and Emmanuel Sanders.
I think that'd be a killer pick for them.
I do too. And Buffalo just keeps freaking getting better.
You've done well again, sir. Number 26. I like this one too. I like all these picks. This is so good. The Las Vegas Raiders going with Kingsley Enagbare.
This is a kid that could make up for the Clelin Ferrell pick. Because look, Mike Mayock's gotten slammed for a lot of shit he's done with the Las Vegas Raiders. I think a lot of it's unjust because he's hit some. Max Crosby was a hell of a hit.
Oh yeah, but none more damaging than taking Clelin Ferrell at 4.
That's
nobody
the one
else thought he would. I mean, it just wasn't necessary.
That's the one that everybody comes back to.
Yeah.
The thing about Enagbare that will knock him down boards is that he's not going to run particularly fast. You're going to see Kayvon Thibodeau won't run, but if he did, he would run in the high 4.5s, mid 4.5s, high 4.5s. Enagbare is going to run about a 4.9. He's not super fast, but he's super friggin' physical. And he's super fucking strong. And he can hold up against the run. The thing that's really impressed me about him is that there is a massive talent deficiency at South Carolina, and yet he still jumps off. I like small school guys, and I shouldn't say small school, bad school.
I was going to say you're going to get a lot of Gamecock emails on that one.
Bad school.
There you go.
Not super talented.
There you go.
Talent deficient.
You can call us bad, just don't call us small.
Yeah, they're not small. They're not small. But I look at him as a piece that could be on the other side from Max Crosby. And the thing that I love about those two is that they can be 3-down players.
I mean, this kid has the ability to dominate everybody.
And I'll be honest with
football.
you, if they tried the Clelin Ferrell thing for another year, I could easily see there being a rotation there where Ferrell is just a 15-snap-a-game kid.
Right.
And you see some of that situational pass rush that we liked.
Right.
The thing that people forget about Clelin Ferrell, we still thought he was like the 15th best player in the draft. What fucked him up is that you took him at 4. You could have traded down and still gotten him because there was no team in the league that had him in the top 10.
I remember
he
just
does
being
still have talent.
Awestruck on draft night when that happened. And I agree with you. This is a great pick. Another great pick.
The next one's pretty good, too.
Yeah, it is. God almighty. Number 27, the Dallas Cowboys. Big 99 Drake Jackson out of USC, man. This kid's crazy.
Yeah, to me, he's going to be very specific in the NFL because he's so light. There are people that think Drake Jackson doesn't weigh more than 240 pounds.
Yeah, but I mean, I look at him and I think you put on some pounds and hopefully you don't lose some of that explosiveness that you have.
Here's what's going to get him. He's been coached poorly. This is another player that is just a stupid talent.
Yeah.
You see the splash plays from him are incredible. You're not seeing as many of those. And there's one very simple reason why. They're asking him to do entirely too much. They're moving him around the formations. Stop it. The raw in him is fantastic. You put him on the other side of DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons back behind him, and sweet Lord. You want to know how you fix your deficiency, lack of depth in the secondary?
Yeah.
Have a pass rush like that and just See what happens. The thing that will push Drake Jackson down is that he is not as multiple as you would want him to be. He's that bull pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
He's that guy that's just going to go out and get sacks because that's what he does.
Yeah.
Plays really hard. The story on him is incredible. And we'll get into it more as drafts. This is not necessarily narrative.
Right.
But this is one of my favorite players in this draft.
Okay.
This is a kid that's going to get drafted in the 20s, and I could easily see making a Pro Bowl within 2 or 3 years in the league.
All right, at number 28, the Green Bay Packers will select.
Who is the player you would most like to see right here?
Oh, my gosh.
Tank has not seen these, by the way. He only sees them when they go up on the screen.
Jackson Kirkland?
No.
Jahan Dotson. Okay. Makes complete sense. You need a wide receiver. Okay.
I'm going to keep mocking this until it happens. By the way, 29 is the audible that's happening in this draft. So that is not the player that will go there, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about who it is in a minute. Jahan Dotson is another kid that screams off on the tape. He is borderline impossible to cover. But he's going to need, in the NFL, he's going to need a legitimate one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good thing for him, the
You've got
Green Bay Packers have one of those.
Right.
They have arguably the best one of those. I literally don't think I could say enough good about this kid because I think he can play on the outside. He would be, in my opinion, one of the best slot receivers in the NFL immediately. And you put him on the – here's what I can't get away from. I can't get away from the thought of having Devontae Adams on the outside and Jahan Dotson on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Because how the hell are you going to defend that? He is short. I get it. He's, a 5'10 receiver. Well, Tyreek Hill's like 5'7", so –
he'll be fine.
tough shit.
Right.
He's been this good with no quarterback. This is another kid that I think there is limitless potential because of how many times I see him break open and Clifford never even acknowledges it.
Right.
Never even sees him.
Right. So imagine this kid with Aaron Rodgers throwing to him, what that could be, especially when he's not getting all of the attention because Devontae Adams is on the field.
Yeah.
It makes a whole lot of sense. I'm done mocking wide receivers to Green Bay. It seems like they're just not going to do it.
I'm just going to keep doing it until they finally make me right.
Right.
He's not as bursty explosive as a Tyreek Hill or any of the real deep threats like that. He's got long speed for days.
Mm-hmm.
You often see receivers, they catch the pass and they take it to the house and you see them burn out at the end. He'll never do that.
He'll never do that.
He will never do that.
All right. Number 29, the Baltimore Ravens.
There's an audible here, so you know.
Yeah, this is not the pick. This is the one that we have to audible because of the issues surrounding Adam Anderson at Georgia. So who's the pick?
Well, you lose a Georgia player. What about we just replace him with a Georgia player?
One. Okay.
Jordan Davis.
Yeah. God.
Jordan Davis
he's such a Baltimore guy.
He is.
I mean, he's like Haloti Nada.
And I think he's going to fall because there are teams that worry about his weight. They worry about all kinds of shit. You know what mitigates that? A program like the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
He's what do you think Jordan Davis is listed at in the media guide at Georgia?
I think it's 340.
You're too high.
Really?
He's listed at 6'6", 330. I got news for you. If he's 330, I'm 212.
There's at least 35 pounds off of that.
Easy. And he's gained weight through the season. That's one of the things that's low-key bothering scouts and evaluators.
Okay.
It's the old LeBron James theory. Over the course of a year, there's so much physical exertion, you cannot eat enough to keep your weight up.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to lose weight over the course of the year. Jordan Davis just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah. How the hell are you continuing to get bigger?
And there are people that think, well, if he's not super disciplined, he'll show up to camp at 400 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been rumors that he did that at Georgia more than once.
He did do that at Georgia.
Where he just shows up and he's gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
Your knees can't withstand that. A lot of people will see Jordan Davis at 29 and go, well, how the fuck is he going to go that high? Because a lot of teams are going to think he is risky business. Baltimore, on the other hand, that's one of the best run organizations in the league.
Right.
And he would fit perfectly.
And this is what Baltimore does.
Baltimore,
they take all of
every year.
the guys. Yeah, every year.
Every year you see Baltimore picking in front of you, and there's a guy dropping, going, God, I hope he falls dust, and he winds up with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
I've watched them do it 20 times.
Yep. And they'll do it again.
I
if Jordan
originally
Davis
did not
is there.
have Jordan Davis in the first round. Because there is
I feel like that's a mistake, but I understand the concerns because they are legitimate concerns.
I have him as the 14th best player in the draft.
Right.
So it's not coming from me. That's one of those, and I said this in the first video. This is a projection of what I'm being told. I don't make picks for teams. So obviously, because I do this.
Right.
So I have to take what teams tell me, and every team I've talked to about that's in any way involved in this, whether it's beat writers, scouts, anything like that, the number one thing they say about him is weight.
All right, and then at number 30, you got the Detroit Lions with the LA Rams pick from the Jared Goff, Matt Stafford trade. And they're going with a wide receiver.
Well, you took a quarterback at 1. So what's the best thing you could possibly do?
Give him a second receiver.
Give him a weapon. The thing about John Mechie is I can't quite figure out what he is. There were a lot of people that thought John Mechie was better than Henry Ruggs, that he was better than a slew of other guys. I haven't seen that.
No.
I still don't see that.
He hasn't made the pop plays this year.
And he's not as fast as I want him to be. You know, he's only 6 foot tall and he's pretty slight. I want him to be faster than he is. Now, that being said, I look at him on the opposite side of Amon-Ra St. Brown and go, you know, if you could just find somebody that scared you over the top, that is a sum of all parts with Hawkinson that can hurt you over the middle. Mechie that is solid. He's a solid receiver. I can't say much. I can't wax poetic about John Mechie because most of the things I've wanted to see out of him, I've never seen. The problem is he's without a doubt the best receiver left on the board. People will say Justin Ross. I got news for you, and I love Justin Ross. I do. The tape this year hasn't been particularly good at times. And there are teams that will fail him on the medical. Just straight up.
Just straight up.
I can tell you right now, I've never seen a player go through the level of career-threatening injuries that Justin Ross did, and there not be at least a third of the league that wouldn't clear him medically.
Right.
So, and then you get away from John Mechie, and it gets into a slew of guys that I like. Wan'Dale Robinson from Kentucky.
From Kentucky, yeah.
It'll come to me. Zay Flowers at Boston College. You know what all those guys have in common? The real whittle. John Mechie's not huge, but he can be an outside receiver, and that's what they need. Right now they're using a punt returner as a legitimate outside threat, and that's just can't continue that.
Yeah.
This is one of those drafts that you're going to see anybody that can play on the outside at receiver get pushed up because there's just not that many of them. There are a lot of slot guys or super small school guys. I got a lot of receivers from schools that you've either never heard of or you probably couldn't point out on a map.
All right, number 31, the Tennessee Titans. Which way are they going to lean here?
Nicholas Petit-Ferrer, offensive tackle, Ohio State. They have had so many injury issues on the offensive line that you're going to have to do something. This is one of the few offensive tackles that have stayed pretty much where I thought they were. Is he a right tackle? Probably. That's probably how he starts. Could he bloom into a left tackle? Maybe. Could he be downgraded into a guard? Not likely, but possibly. This is a right tackle play for me. This is, you've had Taylor Lewan issues. The kid's pretty multiple. I don't love him at any position but right tackle. But could he play others? Sure. And I look at Tennessee and just go, I don't feel like it's replaced Taylor Lewan time.
Right.
But you need an insurance policy because he lives hurt.
Makes perfect sense. And then number 32, rounding out the 2022 first round Flostradamus mock draft. Is the Arizona Cardinals taking Darion Canard, the tackle out of Kentucky.
There are specific kind of linemen that work in an offense like Arizona's. There are people, I'm not one of them, But there are people that don't like Darion Canard. Also a guy that has weight issues because he is a fucking house. Darion Canard may weigh, he trimmed weight this year because he had gotten gigantic. By the end of last year, he was huge. He's not as huge now. And he's kept his weight in check. You watch the tape on him, and he's like offensive tackle version of Jordan Davis to me. Because you watch the tape and just go, good God, this kid's a top 20 pick, no freaking doubt.
Right.
And then you go back and you watch him. Anytime he's slightly bigger, the nasty level's still there, but it doesn't last for long. It's a one play. Oh, huge block. And then he just gets drug on the next play.
Right.
I look at this guy and go, you're a little big for this offense because this is a
quick offense. Yeah.
I would have said the same thing about Kelvin Beachum, though. And that worked. And I look at Darion Canard and go, you know what? That's a blindside guy. That's a blindside guy forever. And if you can keep the weight in check, this would be a value pick to the highest extreme. Because I like him better. I like him better than Petit Ferrer, who went one pick in front of him. There's just a lot more risk. Arizona, you've got so much talent, you can do that. You can take a risk on this kid.
Right. But you think he's athletic enough, along with his size, to fit into the offense?
His best fit would be somewhere like Baltimore or San Francisco or the Jets or somewhere like that. However, here's what I've learned about Cliff Kingsbury that I do have to give him credit for. I've talked a lot of shit about Cliff Kingsbury. Probably more about him than damn near any coach in the league not named Zach Taylor.
Yes.
He adjusts his offense to the pieces that he has. There is not another guy that I think can come in on day one and be a left tackle. Darion Canard can. Is that his best path? No, his best path is to play on the right side. But that's damn near I could say that about every tackle. If we did this there's probably not one tackle in this draft that I would say, oh, he's going to be better on the left than on the right. At some point, there are 32 teams. There have to be 32 left tackles. There's been 4 in 3 years.
Right.
So some of these guys are going to figure it out, and I think Darion Canard can. This is a kid, he's got a mean streak to high holy hell. And you look at their deficiencies in the run game, and the more they're trying to do it, and James Conner and Chase Edmonds and Kyler Murray, this is just a guy that can do all kinds of shit for that. Because you talk about somebody that can dominate, that's somebody that can dominate. And he's dominated at times in the SEC. And I haven't just seen him get drug.
Yeah.
He didn't get drug against Georgia. I don't know how nicely I would have graded that tape, but I don't know how nicely I would have graded it for damn near anybody.
Right.
But if you watch the drive for Kentucky, I think it was right at the end of the first half. That's when they scored, right? They had the good drive at the very end of the first half.
Yeah.
Watch the tape on him there. Just go play by play and watch him. He held up. That was no huddle with Will Levis moving down the field. That's when I went, you can do more things than I think you can, because he got better as that drive went on.
All right, that puts it to bed the first round of the 2022 Flostradamus mock draft version number 1. If you missed the opening video because we did things a little awkwardly here today, it's on the Sportsocracy stream. You can check it out there. They're all tied together.
When the chat goes away, it will be. They are forever linked together.
There we go. The big surprise at number 1, at least for me anyway, in this one. So check out that first half of the first round video. I mean, there were a couple of names, though, that you didn't say that I was kind of surprised at. One was a guy I said earlier, Jackson Kirkland, out of Washington.
Yeah, the tape on him, he's a second. He might be a third rounder at this point.
Really?
There's just a lot of teams that think he's going to be a guard.
Okay.
So the tape hadn't been good on him. He's a very, very good player. I like the 2020 tape is one that you can watch of him and go, oh, that's what we're looking for. I mean, he was a candidate for the Outland Trophy.
Right.
He's not now.
Yeah. Nolan Smith from Georgia.
Again, with Georgia guys, I'm telling you, they're going to push each other down. It's a sum of all parts because you can't figure out who it is. That defense is so good. They're all good. We're not debating that.
Right.
We've seen this with multiple defenses in the past where there's so much talent that it covers up all their deficiencies.
Okay.
And Nolan Smith, would it shock me if he went in the first round?
Right.
No. Would it shock me if he was one of those guys that's sitting on the board first 10 picks of the second round?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Those were just the first ones off the top of my head.
There are a couple others. I mean, just looking at – if I was looking at my – if I was looking at the projections of mine in terms of players that I really believe in, Castro Fields from Penn State is one that didn't make it into the first round. And there are some people that think he's special. I'm just not really one of them. There's an offensive tackle from Northern Iowa that's his name's Trevor Penning. He's a guy that a lot of people like. The one that I couldn't get in because I just don't know where he fits is Jermaine Johnson from Florida State. And it's bothersome to some that he could not find a role at Georgia.
It's kind of hard to do.
Hard to take a kid when the Georgia guys are falling. It's hard to take a kid that couldn't beat any of them out.
Right.
Then he goes to Florida State in an inferior conference, and that pushes him down.
And he shines. Shocker of shockers.
Trent McDuffie, he's a corner that we talked about. He's another one that I do like. Just couldn't quite find a way to get him in. Let's see if there's anybody else that just jumps off the page to me. No running backs. You'll notice that I don't ever do running backs in the first round. I wouldn't do it. So, I wouldn't. If I wouldn't do it, I ain't. But
who is your number one running back, by the way? Just curious.
Breece Hall.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. If aside from, there are a couple in this draft. This is, to be really honest with you, this is not a bad running back draft. That's just not a position that I value in any freaking way.
Right.
Breece Hall's a guy I'm high on. Isaiah Spiller. Obviously Kenneth Walker. But Kenneth Walker to me is more of a college player than pro player.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker's like a third round pick, if that.
Back into the second, beginning of the third.
Yeah.
Chris Rodriguez from Kentucky is a kid that I like. The requisite, of course, there's always going to be an Ohio State running back, so Master Teague, Brian Robinson, Samir White. But to me, those every one of those guys is a back end of day 2, beginning of day 3 guy.
Yep. I would agree with you on that as well. I was just curious who your number one running back was for this class. Anyway, of course, we will have more draft content coming over the next, 8 months? Is that how long we have until the draft?
Let's see. November,
6 months?
December, January, February, March, April. 6.
Yeah, 6 months.
And you can come to the draft with us. We are giving away a trip to Vegas with us. All you have to do, invite your friends. Invite your friends. Have them tell us that you're the one that invited them. Have them like things, share things, comment on things. By the way, all of your comments. Any comment that you put on any video, that's another entry into the Vegas contest. Comments, likes, all those good things. Those are the lifeblood of what we do.
Excellent. All right. So, we're going to have a lot of fun at the draft. But in the meantime, of course, we will have all of your player profiles, mock drafts, all of that coming over the next 6 months here.
We're going to do a lot of draft stuff moving forward.
Yep.
We're going to have a dedicated a thing that goes out every week. Probably on Saturdays.
Yep. It is a Football Friday, so don't forget to join us this afternoon on ESPN Asheville and right here on YouTube as we have the simulcast of the shared broadcast, I guess I should say, of the Sportsocracy.
You know what Friday means.
It's all the gambling picks.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Jeremy will hit you with his double shot green on green as he does every Friday. We'll be playing Beat the Chief with Asheville Police Chief David Zack, where we'll pick every game and preview all the games in the NFL for the week. And yes, we'll talk about all the other things that are going on in the sports world. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. Yeah. We're always in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. We'll see you next time.